Okay, here we are. After 7 rounds of Swiss, we have 8 players who have made the cut. Featured in this matchup, we have Nick Starr, who, if you would like to hear him talk about his deck, you can. At the end of this YouTube playlist, we did a deck tech. And you can see it. He said that one of his best matchups is Grixis Shadow, which is pretty cool. Because he's playing against Grixis Shadow. Michael Decoste is on your right. Longtime player. He's played Grixis Shadow for a while now. He top-8'd May's Titanium series with Grixis Shadow, where he fell to Adam Snook. He's going to try and do better this time. Nick leads on Spire Bluff. Michael going to deal himself some damage. Let's see what he has. Alright, Thoughtseize. Alright, looks like Thoughtseize takes Snapcaster. Nick just says go. He's playing it a little slow. Doesn't really have any threats to deploy early in the game. His crucial turn is turn 3. That's when he gets to deploy the Geist of Saint Traft, which is the absolute powerhouse. That's why he plays the deck. Oh, what just happened there? That's why he plays the deck. Without that card, his deck would be pretty bad. You substitute Spell Queller. The deck is terrible. Thoughtseize number 2. This one, Nick has the capability to fight over. Remand, Spell Pierce, things like that. He decides not to. Lightning Bolt gets taken. So the opening turns are mostly just these players 1-for-1ing each other. But the thing about it is Michael achieves his goal of dealing himself damage. There we go. There she is. Geist of Saint Traft. I'm not sure if he ripped that off the top. I'm not sure what happened there. I have to imagine he ripped it off the top because Mike would have taken that. So let's see what Mike has for this. It can't be a Fatal Push, and it can't be a Lightning Bolt. Thoughtseize, that's a start. Lightning Bolt gets taken. Death Shadow. So this is a huge creature. Death Shadow is a 4/4. Now with the Lightning Bolt in Nick's hand, Mike's effectively at 6. And with the 4/4 Angel token, Mike's effectively at 2. So he cannot deal himself 2 more damage. So, Death Shadow gets in. Death Shadow number 2. Wow. He says, okay, Lightning Bolt, you. Ha. Fatal Push on Angel Token. Lets Mike take game 1. That was a great draw from Mike Decoste. That was exactly what he wanted. Disruption, disruption, disruption. The correct lands to get himself low enough. And 2 Death Shadows. Not 1. 2 Death Shadows. Nick, on that last turn, needed to rip a Path, a Snapcaster, a Bolt, a Helix, Cryptic Command, maybe? Something like that. Any of these cards would have done it. Couldn't do it, though. And the deck that he said that he wanted to play against has taken game 1. So, looking ahead to sideboards, Nick Starr, most importantly, in our deck, he told me the most important card against Death Shadow. Rest in peace. But he was also talking about the version of Tarmogoyf. So I'm not quite sure that's what he needs. It wouldn't have done a thing for him that game. Now, things that will do something, the 4th Lightning Helix. The Dispels, the Blessed Alliance. These cards will do something. Cards he'll probably look to side out. Maybe some of the slower counter spells. Some of the cards that cost 3 that are low impact. Maybe Vendilion Click. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert with this deck. I think the only person who is an expert with this deck living in this decade is Nick Starr. I'll have to ask him afterward. Mike gets Collective Brutality if he wants it. Engineered Explosives on 0s, protection from an Angel token. He'll probably side that in. Engineered and Anger of the Gods are the only way that he has to kill a Geist of Saint Traft. Kill or interact with, I should say. You gotta figure Mike still likes his chances. He was adamant that it was a good matchup for him. One of his best matchups. He identified the Collected Company decks as decks he might win 1 in every 5 times against. And Grixis Shadow. He didn't put a number on Grixis Shadow, but he made it sound pretty good. So Celestial Colonnade is matched by Thoughtseize. Other things to note in this top 8. Ray Karkman making his 2nd top 8 with the same deck he's always played. Going in as the 1st seed, he pretty much dominated this tournament. A lot of 2-1 victories, yeah, but he didn't lose a match. He didn't lose twice to the same person. Adam Snook makes his second top 8 in as many months. Him and Mike Decoste. Top 8 last time. And as we move along in this game, we see Thoughtseize. That took Vendilion Click. Alright, Serum Visions. Gonna load up Mike's Graveyard. You know, just a Death Shadow deck doing its thing. As they do. Fetch land gets activated. Mike already down to 15 here. Serum Visions fixes his draw some more. Just trying to assemble multiple Death Shadows for the same turn when he's finally unlocked them. Trying to assemble a Tasigur with counter backup. Whereas on the other side of the board, Nick Starr just wants a threat. He really only just wants one threat. So all the burn combined with the Snapcasters in his deck. This means that even one threat hitting 1, 2, or 3 times can be enough. Right? I mean, Mike's down to 12. That's 4 lightning bolts. Assuming Nick has 2, in combination with Lightning Helix, Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage, well, he needs to deal 6 incidental damage. And boom, look at this Thoughtseize. We're down to 4 incidental damage. Now, if Nick can go right now in this window, then Vendilion Click, that's pretty good. But no, instead he says, okay, go ahead. You can go to 10. I can see why Nick said it was so good, right? Because look at this situation. Mike's at 10. And that fetch land represents at least 9, which is 3 lightning bolts. 2 of which are in Nick's hand. Right? I mean, Nick could easily go end of turn, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Helix. Put you to 3. Make to any Snapcaster, any Bolt, any Helix, any Resto, any Vendilion threatens to end the game. Almost a third of Nick's deck. Ah, look at Nick over there. Trying to act all defeated, nonchalant. His heart is racing. He knows he needs one more burn spell to kill Mike. And here's the thing, Mike knows this too. It's such a fine line for the Grixis Shadow player. Thoughtseize you. Now, Nick can just go burn spell, burn spell. Looks like he's going to do. I mean, once the Thoughtseize resolves, Mike will go to 7. Lightning Helix makes that 4. He'll Ghost Quarter himself to get the red source. Mountain coming into play. Lightning Bolt will take him to 1. So right now, Mike's at 1 with no threat. I mean, Snapcaster Mage, but essentially no threat. Nick's at 23. Dispel and Path to Exile the cards in hand for Nick. Dispel in the graveyard. 1 life. So 3 bolts, 3 helixes, Snapcaster Mage. Not this turn. Vendilion Click, also sweet. There's the bolt. Bolt, target you. Ha! There it is. Bolt off the top. Evens it up. Very nicely done, Nick Starr. Showing us how real men play Magic. Ripping the lightning bolt off of the top. Oh, there he is. There he is. I tried to get a little look at him. My overlays are all messed up today. My apologies there. Shout out to Jeff Foster. Did do all the overlays for this tournament series. Pretty impressive stuff. It's not his fault when the overlays are messed up. That's our fault. He did great work on these. And definitely big props to him. So you can see here why Nick thought he was favored. The Death Shadow deck is forced to do that to themselves, right? They're forced to bring themselves to 12 or below. And playing this critical mass of 3 damage burn spells is so good for Nick. Right? I mean, after board, there's 4 Helix, 4 Bolt, and Electrolyze. 4 Snapcaster to flash these back. So this is kind of like 12 burn spells. Add that to the instant speed play the deck has. Snapcaster representing 2 extra damage that Mike didn't account for. I think Mike's best strategy in this matchup involves being conservative with your life total, trying to resolve a Tassiger maybe. And when I say be conservative with your life total, I don't mean stay at 20. That's impossible. I mean, well, you know, go to 15. Go to 13. Don't go to 6. Don't go to 9. Easier said than done, because you have to deal with what your deck gives you. Your deck that is designed to lose your life. So I'll tell you what, Dispel does not counter Gurmag Angler. I hear the players talk. He says, every game, turn 1 Thoughtseize. Now, of course, Mike does play 6 of these effects, so no big surprise. I see a Geist of Saint Traft peeking out. Looks like a Lightning Bolt, a Geist, a Snapcaster, 3 lands, and that card in the middle, not really sure about. Geist is taken. Mike recognizes that's a huge threat. Land drawn for Nick, not his favorite land. Not his favorite card to draw, I should say. He needs no more lands. With these 4, he can cast everything in his deck, up to the 2 Resto Angels and 1 Cryptic Command. Street Race cycles. 13 life for Mike. He's got to be happy having these 2 basics in his hand. These 2 basics let him not take damage if he doesn't want to. Thoughtseize will bring himself to 11. Nick gonna save a little time. Fetches up, presumably, Steam Vents. Vendilion click gets taken. So Nick, deprived of these recurring threats, the two Thoughtseizes targeted the creatures. Mike thinks that the creatures are his biggest threat, even though it's the burn spells that killed him last time. Seer Vision's cast. One on top, one on bottom. Looks like he'll keep the Seer Visions. He's deciding, like Mike, that this might be a longer game, actually. This might not be over in a flurry of burn. Looks to be a Tasigur. Now Mike also has Stubborn Denial here. So he has a 1 blue mana counterspell for the most important cards in the deck. Nick gonna make a land drop. Another Hallowed Fountain, taking 0 damage from his own mana. Very crucial. Mike just loading up on these 1 mana answer spells. He has the trifecta here. He has Stubborn Denial to stop an instant or sorcery. He has Fatal Push to stop any size creature Nick might throw at him. He has Lightning Bolt to stop a creature or go to the dome. This is the perfect hand for Mike. Excuse me, that's a Gurmag Angler. That is not a Fatal Push. Now here Nick is behind the 8 ball a little bit. He has to play an untapped land and just say go. Gross. Now if Mike wants to activate Tasigur, this land has to get an untapped an untapped shock land. Which is awkward. So he doesn't want to have to go to 8. Right now he's at 10. Yeah, he gets it tapped. This makes much more sense to me. So Mike Decoste, 10 life. So this is still end of turn. Stubborn Denial. Stops the first path, but second path does hit Tasigur. This is end of turn, remember. Mike, no more basics to fetch. A little unlucky for him that he drew both basic lands. Well, Mike Decoste, 10 life. Nick Starr, 13 life. This is still end of turn. Bolt down Snap. Now Mike gets to untap. Serum Visions. Drawing a spell, black spell. And wow, that's pretty good. Top, I'd say. Scary. Death Shadow on top. Inquisition, the perfect card to hit. Left with only a resto and a land. The perfect card to draw off Serum Visions there. That was a nut Serum Visions for Mike. Draw into a discard spell that doesn't cost him life. And see a Death Shadow on top of his deck. Gourmet Angler versus no board. Nick left with a Redstone hand. Blessed Alliance sacks the Gourmet Angler. Now, Nick does not choose the other mode to gain 4 life. Curious as to why. Maybe wanted to play around a mana leak? Definitely want to ask him about after this match. So, empty-handed. Mike Decoste, empty-handed. Nick Starr has a Redstone hand. Versus a Death Shadow, that's only a 3/3. Here we go. Here's the drop. Ooh. That's a good one. That is a good draw. Thought Scour himself. This needs to be a land for Nick. Looks like just a Serum Visions. Liliana Snapcaster. Have to imagine he wants to keep that Snapcaster mage. Question is, how do you beat this Geist of Saint Traft, backed up by a Restoration Angel? Because next turn, Geist can attack, Resto can blink, save the Geist, 4 damage gets through. Mike Decoste in a really tough spot right now. Lightning Bolt drawn. You have to think Nick Starr's got this locked up. So attacks are made. Resto blinks Geist. Doing its best Vizier of Deferment impersonation. Mike Decoste, 6 life. Dead on board. What did he leave on top with Serum Visions? Was a Lily of the Last Hope. Does this do anything? I don't think so. Is there a way out for Mike? It's going to be tough. He needs to deal with 2 creatures. Now, Death Shadow is a 7/7. But it's not a 12/12. It still takes 2 attacks to kill Nick. So Restoration Angel, a 1/3 for this next turn. There it is. Handshake from Nick. Handshake from Mike. Wow. Nick Starr moves on to the top 4 at this month's TJ's Titanium Challenge. Nick, if you're listening, well played, brother. Very nice. I do want to know why you didn't kick Blessed Alliance, but very nice. Mike, tough matchup, man. I don't see how you ever beat Nick Starr's deck. Such a critical, massive burn. Well, everybody, I am going to stop this recording, Go see how Ray Karkman and Ben Cohen are doing. Go see how Adam Snook and Ian Carl are doing. See what the next matchup is going to be. As a result of my hard work, you get to watch the semifinals. So let this video autoplay on. Thanks, everybody.